Okay, everybody. Today we are ranking Identity 5 survivors based on how annoying they are. Tier list maker. So today I have a tier list here with all of the characters, and I'm going to go through and I'm going to go on the tier list and I'm going to describe where I put each character. So we're going to look at all of the different levels. We have up at the top, we have the absolute legends. These are survivors that I just absolutely love. These are the best survivors. Not super annoying necessarily to go against, but these are just absolutely legendary characters. Next we have characters I adore. They're not as good as the absolute legends, but still characters that I enjoy seeing. We have characters I like, so kind of not necessarily an unpleasant experience to go against these characters. And then we have neutral, just kind of meh. And then we have characters I find an inconvenience. That's pretty self-explanatory. And then we have characters I hate. So these are characters that I find pretty annoying, and I see them in a match and I'm like, oh man, here we go again. And then at the bottom we have characters that exist to make me miserable. So I think some of my loyal viewers can already recognize what survivors I'm probably referencing here. But I'm going to go through and I'm going to rank all of these survivors on this tier list. So we're just going to go in order as they're seen in the notebook. And we're going to start with Doctor. Now, as a Mad Eyes main, you can imagine I have plenty of feelings about Doctor being a survivor in the game, explicitly countering my main character. Now, I have made chip hunters in the past, so Doctor's not necessarily unpleasant, but when I play both Mad Eyes and Dream Witch, you can imagine I don't like this character, so I'm going to put her under characters I hate. I'm going to start with that. Next we have Lawyer. Oh, the Lawyer. Getting his buff that makes it so he can't get terror shocked a couple years ago. Persuadable plays him. There's so many memes that can be made around his lore with Hellumber. Lawyer is just an overall solid character. I'm going to put him up with characters I adore. I always like seeing a lawyer in the match. Always a good change of pace. Then we have Thief. Now, Thief's an interesting character. He can sometimes be annoying if it's a really good thief, but you barely ever see him. I wouldn't necessarily put him up with absolute legends or characters I adore, but I'm going to put him up with characters I like. He's not super annoying, sometimes kind of refreshing to go against. And now we have Gardener, one of the OG characters. Recently, well not super recently, a few months ago, got a buff that allowed her to get the little bubbles to be able to kite better. I'm going to put her under characters I like. She's got a lot of lore that goes behind her. And yeah, I'm just going to put her right there. Next, we have Magician. I love Magician. Magician is so great. Ever since I've been watching kind of Joggy play in tournament and Cuppy's been picking up Magician, I just really like this character. Even if he's super annoying to go against, I don't mind him necessarily. So I'm going to put him up with the absolute legends where Magician belongs. Next we have Explorer. Explorer has seen his turn in the meta. He used to be really annoying to go against, but I don't necessarily hate him per se. I'm going to say that he's probably pretty neutral. I mean, he's got his annoying times where I can't find him, but generally I dislike the decoders, the other decoders, quite a bit more. Next we have Mercenary. Now, I do not like Mercenary. He's a very boring character to go against. His abilities are kind of bland. This is all subjective, in my opinion, by the way, but all he has is the basic elbow pads that any survivor could get in the chest, and then a delayed passive effect. He's just really not super fun to play against, and his gameplay is kind of stale on me. So I'm going to put him as our first character for characters that exist to make me miserable because I do not like facing this character. He's good against pretty much everybody without any real counters, and he's not really that difficult of a survivor to play. in the grand scheme of things. Next, we have Coordinator. Coordinator is one of my Survivor mains, and sometimes you get some really, really funny shots that like miss. So sometimes you can have really funny, laughable moments when playing against this character. Sometimes can be a little irritating, but generally not that bad. I'm gonna put her up with characters I like. Oh, now we get to the next character. I hate this character so much. Priestess is an abomination. She should not exist in a game like this. She has her godly world portal. She has regular portals. She has a healing buff, which works great with her world portal, especially when you talk about escaping through world portal with tide escapes. She doesn't get the mirror image crossing her world portal. There's so many ways that she can be exploited through portaling through buildings and then jumping way back. And if the hunter goes through the building again and the chase is dead, there's just so many scenarios where she's just straight up broken, especially against a character like Dream Witch with like that building trick is just such a big killer. I hate this character so much. She's gonna be down with Mercenary and characters that exist to make me miserable for obvious reasons. And next we have Mechanic. Now Mechanic is a character that I used to put under characters that exist to make me miserable because I just hated going against this character so much. But as of recently, she received a nerf, and she doesn't feel as bad to go against as she used to be. Now, I still really do not like her ability, being that she's the only survivor that's not completely dead to the world on chair. So I'm going to put her down with Doctor for characters I hate. And next we have Forward. I also dislike Forward very much. Forward has way too much football. He's such a great harasser. He's so annoying to go against. Especially if I'm trying to play a character like Violinist. He's even annoying for Dream Witch, and Dream Witch indirectly almost counters him. Except for the fact that he has this ability to restrict Dream Witch's control by requiring the counter to use 2 leeches instead of 1. Such an annoying character to go against. We're going to put him also under characters that exist to make me miserable. I hope you're seeing that there's a theme here. Next we have Mind's Eye. Oh, Mind's Eye. My brother used to main Mind's Eye. Mind's Eye is a very, very glass cannon character. I mean, she's got some of the fastest decoding in the game, except for the fact that she's also arguably one of the most fragile characters in the game. So, there's that going on for her. She did get a buff with a cane, but it didn't really do anything for her. But the thing is, if you're playing as Hunter and you don't find the Mind's Eye, a lot of times you can be kind of screwed. Now, that's why a lot of times when I face Mind's Eye, I'm going to be running Teleport. But if I find a Mind's Eye in a rank match, I'm generally not too upset about it. I'm going to put her up with characters I like. Now, I don't adore her or think she's an absolute legend, but I don't dislike her. And now we have Perfumer. Perfumer has been an A to S tier survivor pretty much since release, and she's so annoying to go against. Now, the one thing that she doesn't have going for her that Magician has is that she can have a tendency to feed a lot of presence, which works for characters like Sculptor, but still, just such a broken kiter, especially when you're looking at like 2 stories and stuff like that. So I'm going to put her as well under characters I hate. In addition to that, she has great synergy with Priestess, which you know I just hate anybody that has explicit synergy with Priestess. And next we have Cowboy. Now Cowboy used to be absolutely broken. There used to be such a thing as a Cowboy Forward combo that was almost unbeatable from a Hunter perspective. That was when he had his 1-tap lassos that have since been removed from the game. And ever since then, he hasn't been quite as difficult a survivor to go against. I mean, he still has his fair uses, but generally speaking, he's not as useful as he used to be. So I'm going to put Cowboy. I still don't like going against him because he can still do some frustrating things such as lassoing through walls and stuff. So I'm going to put him under characters I find an inconvenience. Next, we have Female Dancer. Female Dancer used to be absolute garbage. Like, she used to be trash. And then she got a series of buffs that made her probably somewhere around, like, B tier, maybe low A tier. Female Dancer has gotten her fair use in certain matchups, so... But I personally don't find Female Dancer to be that annoying personally compared to other survivors that exist. So I'm going to put Female Dancer up, probably with neutral. I don't feel too strongly one way or another with her. And now we have Seer. Seer is the second survivor that I basically permanently banned and ranked. Seer is also such an annoying character to go against. I mean, that owl can buy so much time, especially if you're playing a single-hit hunter like Mad Eyes or Dream Witch. It's just so annoying. So I'm going to put Seer as well under characters that exist to make me miserable. And next we have Embalmer. Embalmer has seen his use sometimes in competitive. He's gotten a few buffs that make him a little bit more annoying, but he is, by nature, a very, very glass cannon character. He has seen his use at times, but generally speaking, he's not used a whole lot anymore. So I don't find that I particularly dislike going against Embalmer, but sometimes he can be a cause for a little bit of frustration at the end of matches. So I'm gonna put him under neutral. I don't really feel too strongly about Embalmer one way or another. And next we have Prospector. Prospector is so annoying to go against. I mean, don't get me started. Prospector has such a short cooldown between being able to just spam his magnets. He can stall just enough time for a survivor to pop a cipher at the end through a little bit of harassment. And he's just, overall, has a very, very strong early game and has synergy with quite a few other characters. So I'm going to put Prospector under characters that I hate. And now we have Enchantress. And I'm sure the community is going to feel very, very strongly about this one. Enchantress is a character that gets stuns whenever she's attacked or she's in the vicinity of the hunter. But Enchantress is literally the only survivor in the game that gets rewarded for playing badly. She gets hit and she gets a stun. It makes no sense. I don't understand why she's able to do that. So just for that reason alone, I'm going to put Enchantress under characters that I hate. And I'm sure the community will agree with me. I mean, I just think it's ridiculous that there's a survivor that gets a free stun whenever she gets hit. And especially as Mad Eyes, I hate Enchantress that just stand by me and gather stuns and don't even decode. And so there's a few reasons to dislike this character. And now we have Wildling. Oh man, I love Wildling. Happy birthday, Murrow! Wildling is such a good character. He goes up to the Absolute Legends. In case you didn't notice, the Absolute Legends are basically the characters that Cuppy made me like. And now we have Acrobat. Acrobat probably would have been neutral for me, but that would have been before the buff. So Acrobat recently received a buff that put him up in the meta. He's super annoying to go against him by so much time. He has way too many balls. So I'm going to also put him under characters that I hate. And now we have First Officer. First Officer did get a buff, but he's not that annoying. Especially as I was a former AND main, and First Officer was literally just an easy win for me because his ability was literally worthless. Because I'd be able to put cats on, and I'd still be able to see the cats. So I would be able to see where First Officer was, no problem. So there was just no reason really to hate on this character. So I'm going to put him up with characters I like. And now we have Barmaid. Now Barmaid is probably a character I would have been neutral on before. But because I just recently got the skin and I've been streaming with it, I'm going to put her under characters that I adore because Because I play her on stream. That's really all there is. Now we got Postman. What the dog doing? I love going against Postman in rank. His buffs are a little annoying, but generally I don't feel like he's too durable of a survivor to go against for the buffs that he gets. I feel like sometimes he's overplayed by survivors that don't really know how to use him to the best of his ability, so I'm going to put him under probably characters I find an inconvenience. If you find a good kiter that's a Postman, he can be very, very annoying, but generally speaking, I don't find him to be too much of an issue. And next we have Gravekeeper. Gravekeeper is the only survivor, or only character in the game that I was able to pull an S tier out of an essence from, so I just randomly have Desolate Sands as a free-to-play player, so just for that, I'm going to put him under characters I adore. I play him now and then whenever I play Survivor, so I'm going to put him up there. And next we have Luca. Luca's a survivor that sees his fair share of gameplay. He's up there with Mechanic in terms of usage, I feel, in ranked. But I don't think he's that annoying to go against. But he does have his uses. With the connections, he's able to pop faraway ciphers. So, I mean, he's not a terrible survivor by no means, but I don't really feel like he's completely unplayable to go against. So I'm gonna put him under neutral. And next we have Ento. Man, I have so many stories about getting screwed over by Ento in a match. She is so annoying to go against, both as an assist and especially as a kiter. She can stall so much time that first kite. In addition to that, probably what kind of annoys me the most is that she's able to use the bees, and then sometimes I'll lose her because she doesn't get footprints with that. So it's just very, very annoying. I'm going to put her under probably, I'm going to say, I don't know. I'm going to put her under characters I find an inconvenience. I feel like that's a pretty fitting spot for her because it's not like I can't play against her. It's just that she's more annoying than anything, but I can still have a perfectly fine match against an Ento. And next we have Painter. Painter was broken upon release. Like, he was so annoying. He was going to go to the bottom of this tier list if he didn't receive the nerfs that he got. So, but Painter received a nerf, and it made it so that he's not too terrible to go against. I do appreciate the art aesthetic. As a musician myself, I have appreciation for the art. So, I'm going to put him probably under characters I like. I mean, he's not too annoying to go against. And now we have Batter. Batter is just the bane of my existence. I mean, when you're talking Mad Eyes, Dream Edge, especially Vio, I mean, Batter just has it all. He's able to harass, he's able to kite, he's able to assist long enough for other characters to saw up Patroller and stuff like that. And in addition to that, he's got the Rage, which gives him literally 0 cooldown. And if you don't break his balls, then he literally can use his ability an infinite amount of times. So I feel like there's many reasons to dislike this character. So for all of that, I'm going to put Batter in addition to characters that exist to make me miserable. And now we got Toy Merchant. Toy Merchant is a fairly annoying survivor. I don't feel like she's completely unbeatable, but she's definitely frustrated me a couple times. So, for that reason, I'm going to put Toy Merchant under characters I hate. And Patient, kind of the same thing, except I feel like a lot of people don't use Patient hooks the right way, at least in my matches. And for that reason, I'm just going to put him under characters I find an inconvenience. He can be absolutely busted on Leos, but other maps, you don't see him necessarily being quite as annoying necessarily. Oh, and he's also really good on Hospital. And we have Psychologist. Psychologist is another very, very annoying survivor to go against. She gets basically a free seer out, and if there's an actual seer in the match, then she can get 4 hits early game before going down easily. In addition to that, she literally limits how early you should be getting your first down, because her passive ability doesn't immediately go away like a zero. Like, if you down her really quickly, she still gets that passive, and if the survivor doesn't have tied, she's able to get that heal off immediately. So Psychologist probably goes under characters I hate, mostly because I play Dream Witch, and she's a very solid character to go against Dream Witch. And now we have Novelist. Now, Novelist is not a good survivor. He's not good. But the thing is, with the characters I play, he can actually be pretty decent. In addition to that, my phone can't take his ability. Every time he controls, I seem to have like 1 or 2 seconds where I can't touch the screen. And for that reason, I'm going to put him on the bottom with characters that exist to make me miserable. I just do not like going against Novelists. And now we have Little Girl. Little Girl is, I don't think she's as annoying as she's hyped up to be. She's a fairly recent survivor. But I'm going to put her at pretty neutral. She doesn't seem absolutely busted. Actually, scratch that. We're going to put her under characters I find an inconvenience. Because she can sometimes be annoying only with the assist, really. The fact that she's able to leech on and then you have to kind of hit the other survivor can make it, with really coordinated comps, really annoying to try to get the first down. But in addition to that, the fact that you're going to be facing with 2 survivor abilities at the same time. And now we have Weeping Clown. Weeping Clown is not super annoying to go against, but I don't really feel too strongly about him one way or another. I've really only faced him probably a handful of times, so I'm going to put him under neutral for those reasons. Oh yes, we finally get to Lucky Guy, my beloved main. I was S tier Lucky Guy for a good amount of time, so just for that, he deserves to go up with the absolute legends. I mean, the devs clearly ignore him, so let's be sure to give Lucky Guy a little love. And finally we get down to the Professor, which is the new survivor. I don't really feel too strongly about him either way. He has his uses, but he generally doesn't seem super broken because his ability doesn't protect against Hunter abilities, only regular hits. So for that reason, I'm just going to put him under neutral. And there you have it. We have the tier list of survivors based on how annoying I think they are.
Alright, well I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to this channel for more content like this. And be sure to check us out on Twitch. I stream a lot during the night, so make sure to check us out over there. And I will see you all next time. Bye everybody.